I'm Eric Paul Johnson,
And I'm Eric Winsenson.
and I think last week,
COVID is a fraud created by Nancy Pelosi.
sure, it
I just did
sounds.
that because YouTube loves when people say stuff like that and they take videos down.
Oh, great! Thanks for helping us out. Um, s-
It's BS in case anybody's listening.
yeah,
Yeah,
he may be a conservative, but he lives in reality.
exactly.
Yeah. I think last week I said we were going to do the comments for Latitude and Point of No Return, but we got way too many comments for Latitude 88 North, I believe it's called. So we're just doing Latitude this week instead of suffering through a 1 hour Zoomcast. But before we get to him, we have a new subscriber. Eric Thrasher is our newest subscriber, and I don't know, we must be approaching 160 subscribers, so getting so much closer.
Well, yes, and if you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then we instantly have money raining down upon our heads, right?
Sure, 0.35 cents per view, I guess, which I split 4 or 5 ways between the everybody else. Wait, should I include them since they aren't in the Zoomcast? Since that's where the money would come from. Because we can't make money from the actual podcast because we're using Jeff Lynne's music.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Probably just to be generous, we should.
Probably to
But
be decent
hey,
for.
but like I said, if you can't make it rain, make it hail. Unfortunately, when you do that at the strip bar, they throw you right back out.
Yeah.
Turns out a handful of pennies is not appreciated.
Well, there's a song from the early 1900s that every little bit added to what you got makes just a little bit more. So maybe those strippers need to hear that song and just be grateful when people are pitching pennies at them.
Hmm. Well, there's another song from the late 1900s called "Everything Counts" by Depeche Mode.
There's that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
everything counts in large amounts.
Yes. Yeah. There's also another song from the early 1900s called just just pass right
Yeah.
off. We
No,
don't
no,
need to
no.
be. Yeah, we'll save that
There's
for
a
our.
lot of songs from the early 1900s that we can just leave in the early 1900s.
Yeah, we'll save that for our other our post E.L.O. podcast of horribly racist songs from the early 21st century. Yeah.
That were almost all written by people of color.
Hmm.
They were. A lot of them were. They actually, because sheet music, you wrote it, you made money off of it.
Yeah.
And these idiot racist people saying it, not knowing who actually wrote it.
Yeah. 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 There's some that I've heard that just like, wow,
Yeah.
you white guys really let that N word fly.
Well, what upsets me more is when I hear that and it's from the 1970s and by some guy named Johnny Reb
Yeah.
talking about how he loves the KKK
Hmm.
and another of other songs that have certain words in the titles. So,
Right. No.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Those
that was
will.
60s and 70s. So you don't have to look that far back to
No,
find that kind of stuff.
you don't. Yeah.
But no, I just always thought it was amusing that turn of the century stuff. A lot of that was actually written by black men and women. And they made money off of
Well, yeah.
people's racism.
They
So good for them.
they knew where the money was and they went
Yeah.
for it. Yeah. Yeah. Um, if we haven't lost anybody yet, we do have a good review from one of our listeners.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Maddox says, I not I not read right.
Sure.
I'm not really someone that listens to podcasts, but this is the one that I never miss.
Ah.
Most of the time, I greatly enjoy it from beginning to end. Uh-oh, here come the butts. The banter and passion for this content by the Erics is excellent. The production with add-ins at every turn are informative and fun. I like a thought from Troy, although when I first started listening is when he started appearing. But I don't actually remember why he gets his own segment. Then there is Madeline. I have grown to actually care, what does Madeline think? For a while there, she liked so many in a row. I was just dying to know her record for the most liked in a row. Also, I would love to see a published Madeline scoreboard one day. I'm commenting today because I sense this podcast that I love could be getting to the point of no return with this episode. I think the Erics love classic E.L.O. just like I do, so much that the post Balance of Power Jeff Lynne E.L.O. solo Wilbury influenced work is put down as subpar instead of accepting it for what it is, which is more output from one of our favorites. Would I like more songs to have other musicians, a real orchestra, choirs, singing, etc.? Of course. The rest of the way, we all know that most songs will be missing most of the Eric's favorite elements and include Jeff's drumming and be labeled Jeff Lynne's E.L.O. And if you followed this podcast close enough, you know those elements and all of these things are just not Eric Paul Johnson's favorites, and his heart, passion, enthusiasm, and fun are what drives this podcast to have been so enjoyable so far. Me personally, I love so many of the songs coming up in the next few months, and maybe I will be surprised that they will change their tune along the way, but I'm not hopeful. And where was Dr. Troy? Has he been fired from the podcast? Can you get fired from a podcast? I'm still a big fan and promise I'll keep tuning in.
Thank you very much. That was a really great review. Glad we hooked somebody who doesn't listen to podcasts. We must be pretty great. Somebody should
Exactly.
somebody should pay us more than $30 a month. Um, the production add-ins at every turn are informative and fun. Yeah, I have listened to podcasts that are just somebody sitting in a room talking way away from the microphone, and it's just talking, or even up close to the microphone, and it's just talking. And for me, anyway, if it's just a steady stream of talking, I start to tune it out. That's why I include the drops and the background music and the beds and all that to keep it interesting to the ears, which is kind of why I've always liked E.L.O. There's always something going on in their songs, even in the quiet ones. Even in Strange Magic, it's got that weird out of sync guitar thing going on, which is really great, or out of phase. Why does Troy get his own segment? Because he was replying to episodes and I liked it, and I thought, let's add an extra person to so it's not just me and Eric yammering on about what we think of this song. So that's why Troy got his own segment. And then the same thing happened with Dawn and Mike Hudson in the expanded episodes. I liked their replies to every episode, and I was like, I think they'd be a good addition to the show. Madeline scoreboard. I started doing that. I think I got as far as time before I forgot to keep it updated. I should probably go through it again because I was getting comments from people who was saying, well, these guys just want to hate on E.L.O. And I'm just thinking, yeah, we were pretty critical of the first few albums, but after that, we're full of lots of love for the most part. There's some songs that Win Sensen didn't like, Jungle, but for the most part, loved a lot of their songs. So I just to put the haters in their place, okay, here's the chart. Green for like, yellow for it was okay, red for we didn't like it. And there was one for me, Madeline, and Win Sensen. And there was a lot of green. It was There was a handful of yellows and a smaller fistful of reds at that point. Um, but yeah, I should update that and give you the link. It's a Google spreadsheet, and everybody would be able to look at it. Let's see. You'll be surprised at what's coming up if we like anything. Yeah, you're gonna be. We did a song today, and I'm not going to say it which one. No spoilers. Um, Eric was okay with it. I actually liked it a lot. From Alone in the Universe. So, and there are actually a couple of songs that we've hit after Point of No Return that were like, that actually wasn't so bad. I really liked it. And there will be a couple coming up that are like, sweet Jesus, I got to hear this song again. So there'll be more coming. It's not all going to be, the Jeff Lynne hater podcast. It's not going to turn into that all the
Where
time.
was Troy for the Point of No Return?
Well, I've started to do a thing where we've got 3 people commenting on songs other than me and you, and I guess Madeline. Um, so I'm switching things around. Troy is still in that episode, but he's in the expanded episode. What I'm doing is if Don, Mike, or Troy have a different opinion about the song than me and you have, then that person gets to be in the standard released free episode so that it's not everybody having the same opinion about the song. At least everybody on the free standard episode. Although there was a song recently that we covered that hasn't been put out yet. It's from Alone in the Universe, where it was pretty universally not liked by all 3 of us or 4 of us. So yeah, but Troy's
Yeah.
still there.
By the way, with Troy, if you heard his Bee Gees comment, you can see how hard it is to get fired from the episode, even though, I mean, from the podcast, even though there was some temptation there.
Well, what, 30, 40 years of doing satire or attempted comedy, sometimes you hit something that is really, really bad. So
Yeah,
I, I understand. I'll let it slide. Did anybody die?
no.
No. So it happens sometimes. It's okay. Just don't do it again. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So I,
yes.
I'm just hoping that the rest of the songs don't end up being like my gym teacher, where I just have to relax and let it happen.
Moving on to comments about Latitude 88 North. Oh, Bob. And Mike, how come you didn't say anything about Bob? His feelings are hurt. Look, he's sad. Can't you see it in his face? Anyway,
It looks high.
what's that?
It looks like more like he's high.
It could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, the oceans are pretty polluted, so who knows what kind of.
They call it seaweed for a reason.
Oh, there you go. Trevor Raggett has something to say, and it's long enough to where Bob will represent me, not Trevor. Trevor Raggett, another one of those bonus tracks that you can tell why they are bonus tracks. It's a perfectly serviceable little tune, but nothing to write home about. There are some nice touches. The cold as ice or cold-hearted woman lyric is such a cliche that it's nice to hear a completely different spin on it. The chorus hook is one of those ones that earworms its way into your head for a while every time I hear it, so I'll be humming it at random for a while. The Wilbury sound is nice, if a bit stereotypical 2000s Jeff, but none that elevates it above just okay, B-side fodder at best. Funny thing though, I've always thought it's so different from everything else on Out of the Blue, especially that rockabilly feel. Wonder why? Oh, just wonder why. Apparently it turned an emoticon into a question mark when I transferred it all over to a text document. Wonder why. But I never considered it any further. It never really occurred to me before that, of course. Jeff took an innocent little song sketch that was sitting on a half-forgotten late 70s 24-track tape minding its own business, and then completely Wilburized it in the 2000s. Of course that's why. Doe. Um, yeah, I know I was. I think when Sensen was too. Haven't we finished these episodes about 2 months in advance. And if I don't listen to it before we start, I'm kind of like, what did we say about that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know I was pretty harsh on Point of No Return, but reading the comments, I'm kind of like, yeah, the chorus wasn't so bad. I wonder if I think I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to listen to the episode, but the chorus, yeah, that wasn't. I kind of like that now that I
You
think
said it
back on
went
it.
from a 0 to a 0.5.
That's what I thought I said. Yeah,
Yes.
sounds about right.
And Mike Hudson says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I have a hard time accepting these bonus tracks. Like this song came from the same sessions as the albums being claimed. That doesn't mean maybe Jeff didn't have a vague sketch of a song idea from those periods that he turned into something else entirely later, though I'm sure this is the case with Latitude 88 North. Nothing about it fits with any other track on Out of the Blue. In fact, I highly doubt that it is Bev playing drums. I'm also not convinced the strings are real either. They sound like samples to me. And this may be why Jeff has them mixed a little lower to help mask this fact. He mentioned Richard making remarks about the lyrics, but didn't say if it was back in 77 or 2007. Jeff usually does lyrics at last minute, so this comment is suspect as well. I'd find it highly unlikely Jeff had developed this song to the point of having actual lyrics in 1977 and is just recently surfacing, but stranger things have happened. I like the song, but it's definitely one of Jeff's weaker bonus tracks. Songs like Helpless or Tears in Your Life are stronger bonus tracks, in my opinion. But at least it's a complete song, unlike some of the other bonus tracks we've gotten on these re-releases and compilations,
Yeah, I get.
which I would warn people who have said they want to hear all those hundreds of cassette tapes that Jeff Lynne has sitting around that he hasn't listened to. Most of them are going to be probably those 30-second fragments.
Yeah, just poor sound quality. Him on the guitar or him on a keyboard. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just something I've said before. If he develops them into a full song, I'd like him to develop them into the full song to sound like what he wanted it to sound like back when, and not what it would probably turn out sounding like, which is more 1990 again.
Right.
Anyway, Corey replied to Mike Hudson, you crazy. Not as to whether or not it's a real bonus track. It wasn't on the original LP, ex post facto. It's a bonus track. I don't care when he did it, where he did it, or who was on it. What matters is, do you like it? I can tell you didn't care for it. I do. I like this song. Does it fit on Out of the Blue? Of course not. But I like the song nonetheless. I remember the original controversy about this song was Jeff's use of the word hell in it. It was really a non-controversy. Jeff has used the F word and the word excrement.
Mm-hmm.
He uses the actual word. And I believe both those words, I'm losing my place here. And I believe both those words worse than his use of hell here, especially since he's using it as an adjective to modify how cold it is. He's not stating, like that line in The Exorcist, that so and so's mother is, shall we say, very busy.
Darn socks and heck, yes.
Yes, very busy working in hell. Jeff is not talking about an imaginary place. He's using the word to mean very. It reminds me of the non-controversy about the Beach Boys having the word God in a pop song title back in the day. But then everyone heard the song and said, oh, that's not too bad. Same with this song. I didn't know there was a controversy over him using hell. Honestly, I didn't even it didn't even faze me. It's not like the other ones where he dropped F bombs and S bombs in songs where it's like, whoa, I didn't expect Jeff to actually say that. But hell, I don't know. I just heard it so much in my life and TV and everything else. It's kind of like, it's almost like the word and. Oh, he said hell. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds almost they're just like some guy in England just raised a controversy because it said on a ketchup bottle. I think it was a Pizza Hut, which kind of explains their pizza's flavor. Um, now we know what that. Now we know what we all suspected on the sauce there,
Mm-hmm.
but no, it was on a ketchup bottle, and I guess it said "shake it, squeeze it, squirt it."
And
And he threw out an entire fit saying, "There's kids in the room."
well, what do kids do with ketchup
Well,
bottles?
you shake the bottle, you squeeze the bottle, it squirts out. There's no sexual metaphor to this whatsoever, unless you really want to make it one, and that's you.
Right. It's just,
My comment on that was it would be worse if it was a mayo bottle.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah, but even then, yeah, that's getting a controversy over hell is like getting a controversy over that.
right. He, they just put the operating instructions on the ketchup bottle. It's kind of like when people were like, I don't know if you should have done that. When I wrote in frosting, eat me on a cookie. It's just, I'm giving the operating instructions on what to do for a cookie. Today, some
Has
people,
anybody never read uh, oh, Alice in Wonderland?
there
Well, the first things in Alice in Wonderland is little cakes that say "Eat me" on them.
you go. See?
Those are the
Um,
ones that start making her change shapes and everything.
right. And today, it seems like more and more people need operating instructions for cookies and little cakes that they're
I see more and more things that have labels on it that tell people not to eat it so that they don't.
all right. Before we move on, I heard this on TV once and I thought, no, that can't be real. And I was working at Target and there it was in the back room. It's a Batman playset and it said in little letters on the front of the box, cape does not enable user to fly. So humanity's always been pretty stupid.
Yep. Well, at least plastic bags are gluten free if you decide to ingest them.
Yeah, they don't. You got to flavor them though. Maybe shake and squirt some ketchup on the plastic bags.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike Hudson replies back to Corey Gomel.
Mm-hmm.
No, where did I ever say it wasn't a real bonus track? I just said that I have a hard time believing that it was conceived, demoed, or anything similar in 1977 when the rest of Out of the Blue was created. And I never said I didn't like it. I just don't like it as well as some of the other bonus tracks that have surfaced over the years. I don't like Rock and Roll is King over any other track except Letter from Spain off Secret Messages, but I still like the track. It's kind of the same thing here, except this is a bonus track rather than an album track. You forgot the damn and do ya. By the way, I like the use of hell in this song.
Mm-hmm. Mike likes the cursing in the E.L.O. Maybe Jeff Lynne will up his swear game for the next album if there's one coming. I'm sure there is. MJ Folds. No way do I agree with some of these comments that it is a weak track. This is one of the most interesting and fun previously unreleased songs there is. The strings sound so like the old E.L.O. around the Out of the Blue era. It's got a great production that sounds much better than anything for years. There are beautiful chord changes, little plucked violins, proper drums. It's gorgeous. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad when, even if I don't like an E.L.O. song, I'm glad that other people do like it. So,
And then Paul Mumford says it's a no from me.
Jeffrey Eberting. I like this song so much that I figured out the chords and performed it solo. So after it was and performed it solo after it was released. Look, I get that many of you look down upon everything Jeff has done since Balance of Power, but I like pretty much most of anything he's done. I'm prepping for the broadcasts of Disdain once we get to Alone in the Universe and Foon. Yeah, might want to belt yourself in. Although there are some that we really did like.
And Aaron Jansen says, always liked this song. Surprised how much y'all didn't. It's like does change the song because it makes it more of a simile. I assume the song was about a person literally at latitude 88 north, but with that line, it creates the simile. Nice lyrics in this one.
You're absolutely right. That does change it into something that it's, originally it was not about somebody at that point on the earth, just somebody who's cold as ice. MJ, right? Yes, MJ. A hit in Iceland, eh? No comment necessary there. Indeed, Eric's completing these songs in a wait. Indeed, Eric's completing these songs in a way which they sound like they could belong on Out of the Blue, same for Surrender in a New World Record, would have been an intriguing listen.
Definitely would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Hellbag says, yes, okay. I like it better than the God blasted whale. Harpoon the whale. I support entire releases of B-sides and odds and ends, not the typical here's a couple of songs of expanded versions. See also Frank Black's Oddballs. That's the way to do it. Or REM's Dead Letter Office.
Yeah, there's a new E.L.O. compilation that's come out. It's called The Vocoder. And I think it's like 7 or 10 songs from the E.L.O. catalog that feature the vocoders, Sweet Talking Woman and Mr. Blue Sky. Unfortunately, it's the 2012 version of Mr. Blue Sky. And when somebody posted that it was out, I was like, "Oh, that's a joke, right?"
I thought
No,
it was too. I didn't pay attention when I saw that.
it's not. It's just another compilation of songs we've heard 1,000 times over from albums that all the E.L.O. fans already have 1,000 times over. There's nothing new here. Who was it?
Happy
Hellbag.
50th anniversary.
Oh God! Please don't let that be the 50th anniversary celebration music release. Hellbag has the right idea. The B-sides, Drum Dreams, is nowhere. You can only find it on the B-side for I'm
All
Alive.
over the world, and I'm alive.
I'm Alive and All Over the World.
Excited both.
Yeah. I mean, you can find it on YouTube, but it's ripped from the vinyl. There's, all kinds of B-sides that were not released on albums and that are still there's still a few that haven't seen the light of CD or digital download. That I would get excited about. Oh, cool, the B-sides or extended remix versions that may have been released. That I would get excited about. Another album with the same 7 songs again.
One of them not even being the real version.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. No, that's don't just well, it is what it is. Anyway, our last comment. Oh, this is Aaron replying to Hellbag. The whale is an acquired taste. As I get older, it seems to gradually sound better and better. I can see that.
Well, whale is actually quite delicious. Oh, wait a minute.
You're supposed to listen to the records, not eat them.
For the record, I have never eaten whale, so no protesters.
As far as I know, I haven't. So,
If you have not gone to Norway or Japan, most likely you haven't eaten whale.
no. Other than probably
Not a regular.
other than probably 7 hours in Mexico when I was 11, I don't think I've left the country. So, yeah.
And I can guarantee there was no whale eaten there.
No, there was not. Are we
So,
done here?
Well, I think we're done here before we actually do get protesters.
Yeah, I think we've given people plenty of stuff to protest about.
Yes,
Endangered
we have.
animals, racist records,
Yep.
COVID denying, all kinds of things. So just
Yep. Just remember, subscribe, hit that hit that notification bell,
mhm.
and cancel us on Twitter.
Yes, apparently being ridiculously stupid and loud about it is what gets ears and eyeballs. So, well,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Huh.
Which
Hmm.
is, I'm not going to go there.
Bad
I was
plan.
gonna, was gonna. My mind was spinning about some Nazi kind of thing to just shout out and cut myself off.
I wasn't going there.
And I was like, let's just
Yeah.
stop now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I
we're
think
done.
we're done here.
I think we're done here. Yeah.